Did you like Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus? Did you sit there watching that 2-hour cutscene and say to yourself, gee golly, I'd love to have a movie with characters that totally aren't famous Hollywood actors?
Well, if you did, then you're in luck. Kojima announced on Thursday that A24 will be adapting Death Stranding into a live-action movie.
Wouldn't it be funny if none of the original cast from the game reprised their roles?
I was actually just thinking about that. If they don't have Norman Reedus or Matt Mikkelsen, it's not going to be worth watching. Anyway, welcome to Necker News, the show where we cover the latest gaming news from the last week.
Subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the latest gaming news, and if you like the video, leave a like.
What even is the story behind Death Stranding?
Not something that can be fit into 2 hours, that's for sure. Can you believe it? Another company got hacked. Oh look! It's a Sony company. Gee golly willikers. Fix your shit.
Insomniac Games, developers of titles like Marvel Spider-Man and Ratchet & Clank, have been hit by hacker group and ransomware tamer Rhysida. Rhysida? There's no I.
There is an I.
Not next to A.
Oh, it's like a Final Fantasy name. Anyway, the group recently uploaded images to the net, showcasing their proof of hack by showing a bunch of information of the upcoming Wolverine game, including other Marvel characters that could possibly be in the game.
One notable leak was that the hack showed personal documents of Yuri Lowenthal, voice of Spider-Man in the most recent games.
Rhysida states that Insomniac has until the 19th to release 50 bitcoins to them, or they'll release everything they have, which could even include the source code of the game.
Sony has released a statement stating that they are aware of the hack and are currently investigating it, but no other words since.
If you want my humble ghost opinion, I say let the files leak. If the game looks promising, it'll only build up hype, and if the game doesn't look promising, they'll get feedback to fix it.
That's fair, but there's also people's personal documents.
Oh, right.
Well, it's finally happened. E3 has officially been declared dead, which means no more of this.
Taggle 2!
This.
So here's this giant enemy crab, and you attack its weak point for massive damage.
And this.
You see, I place a card onto the screen here, and a monster instantiates.
The news of the tragic passing comes to us via the president, CEO of ESA, Stanley Pierre-Louis. That's the guys in charge of E3.
I don't think this news is that shocking to anyone, as traveling to E3 was expensive, so most people just ended up watching the conference online anyway. Then you had big companies like Nintendo and Sony pulling out to do their own thing, and then of course COVID hit, and that just kind of killed it.
Like Ellie said, we can't say we didn't see this coming, what with the past 2 E3s being cancelled, but it is the end of an era.
Don't we still have the Desolate Hope thing though?
It's not the same.
TV, 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 TV. Sports TV, TV, TV. Anybody? TV, TV, MTV, TV, 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 TV. Xbox, go home.
Did anyone remember Last of Us Online was going to be a thing? Yeah, me either. That said, Naughty Dog has recently posted on their website that they've decided to cancel their Last of Us multiplayer game, a game that's been in production since The Last of Us Part 2.
According to Naughty Dog, when the game went into full production, the massive scope of their ambition became clear. And to release and support The Last of Us Online, they'd need to put all the studio's resources into supporting the game for years to come, impacting the development of any future titles.
So they decided to focus on making single-player, narrative-driven games. Seriously, did anyone remember they were making this to begin with?
Surprisingly, I agree with their decision. The problem with live service games is that the game becomes unplayable when the servers go offline, much is the case with Ubisoft's The Crew, as it'll be taken offline in March, rendering the entire game unplayable, just so that they have more server space for The Crew too.
For the record, The Crew was a full $60 single-player game with a fully voiced and fleshed out campaign, with multiplayer content that wasn't necessary to enjoy the game. And I say it was because the game has been removed for purchase.
As you can imagine, the 32 people who are playing the game were very disappointed about this announcement. And that's not a jab at the players. In fact, the players are absolute kings and have discovered that an offline mode was always included in the game, but hidden from normal players.
The offline game is the complete package, with local saving, complete AI, the full map, everything. And you want to know what Ubisoft has to do to give players access to this game? They just have to flip a f***ing switch.
But instead of doing that, Ubisoft has taken the game off of sale and forced the hand of the fanbase to figure out how to crack the game's DRM to enable the offline mode themselves.
Godspeed, gamers.
For anyone who forgot, so everyone, Epic was in a court case with Google and the case just ended.
To give you the TLDR, Epic tried to bypass Google and Apple's payment methods because of their upcharge, which pissed off both companies to the point where they took Fortnite off their respective app stores.
Epic then took both companies to court, stating they had a monopoly, lost the case against Apple, but won the case against Google. The main difference was that the Apple case was ruled by a judge, where the Google case was ruled by a jury.
The jury felt that Google and the Google Play billing service were running an illegal monopoly. They agreed with Epic's argument, including that Epic was harmed by Google's actions. But of course, Google does intend to appeal.
Epic has gone on record to call it a win for all app developers and consumers around the world. They didn't even ask for damages, which is nice and all, but Epic's CEO has gone on record to say that they could make hundreds of millions, even billions, without Google's fees holding them back.
So let us know what you guys think. Do you think this is a win for gamers, or will nothing actually change? Let us know in the comments.
What Nintendo?
For those of you who watched the Game Awards and saw SEGA's massive revival montage and got hyped like Booster did,
Shinobi? Why the f is Shinobi there? What?
we have good news for you. SEGA has filed trademarks for even more games and made them public.
They are as follows: Altered Beast, Eternal Champions, Jet Set Radio, Kid Chameleons, Alex Kidd, f***ing Afterburner, House of the Dead,
I'm attempting conversation here with you. Conversation? Yes, conversation.
Crazy Taxi, Outrun, Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Super Monkey Ball. Wait, Super Monkey Ball is not dead, is it?
I don't think there's been a game in a while. In light of the announcement, SEGA of America's CEO, Shuichi Utsumi, stated, "We really want to show edginess and a rebellious mindset." Which is cool, but you know what happened the last time SEGA wanted to show an edgy and rebellious mindset?
In more I was right about Sega news, Sega and Creative Assembly have listened to the fans of Total War Warhammer 3 and will make corrections to the game moving forward.
To recap, back in August, we reported on how SEGA developer Creative Assembly had been repeatedly dropping the ball for their game, including overpriced DLC that had very little content despite its hefty price tag.
Well, the Creative Assembly VP, Roger Cullum, published an official apology where they stated they were sorry for letting them down and had heard everyone's complaints, starting with a major update to the Shadows of Change, which will overhaul the entire DLC and be released hopefully in February of 2024.
Surprisingly, it was also announced that the next DLC, which was supposed to come out this winter, has been delayed to April 2024, so that they can increase the amount of content offered in the DLC to justify the price tag.
In the very same statement, they had some small things to say about Total War Pharaoh. For starters, they lowered the price from $60 to $40, and where most companies would shrug and be like, okay, we did it, Creative Assembly has issued partial refunds to all owners of the game so that everyone only spent $40.
He also removed the 2 higher costing version of the game, so that players didn't feel like they got the lesser game because they didn't spend more money. Apparently they really wanted to make things right and restore the trust in the company, and I'd say they're doing a good job with it actually.
I had no interest in Pharaoh. I have interest in it now. And honestly, I really like it when companies are human like this. Like that time that the company that made the Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodline game, Battle Royale, made it all free and not freemium at all. And then like Destiny Child, which made its gacha system offline when the game's services ended. Final story. The developers of the fantastic FPS series Time Splitters has apparently been shut down since the company's website now says 404, company not found, and many of the past employees have confirmed it via social media.
That's it, and that's the story. Now for a live reaction from Skull.
This week's Buried Alive Banger, a segment where we cover a game our community doesn't think has had enough attention, is Desolate Hope.
Didn't this game come out like 10 years ago?
Yeah, but the gameplay is outstanding, and as Scott Cawthorne's first game, it's still better than any of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, so play it.
And it's that time of year where no more games are coming out. This is pretty much it for the rest of the year.
And there is no schedule this week, because Ellie and I have decided to take a nice long break. There might be a few Gorilla streams here and there, but overall, we're just going to kick back and enjoy ourselves.
However, Booster will be streaming his yearly tradition of watching all 3 Omen movies in the Discord on December 23rd. So join the Discord if you want to join him. It's an adventure.
Yeah, and a small reminder that there will not be a Necro News episode next week unless something insane happens, like Zoids doing a crossover with Monster Hunter. Anyway, that's it for this week's Necro News. Since we won't see you guys until the new year, we both just wanted to say thanks. We've wanted to give up a good amount of times, but you lot have kept us going through thick and thin.
If you've donated to our coffee, sub to us on Twitch, or bought a membership, or even just watched the video, thank you so much. We couldn't have asked for a better community.
So until next time, everyone, Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year's.